Hey, how's it going? I'm Ella Feingold. I'm an orchestrator. Hope you're doing really, really well. This is going to be just a quick video giving a tip from something that I see a lot in Bernard Herrmann, especially in the brass, but I want to demonstrate other ways you could also do this in strings and woodwinds. So what this is we have something that is adding a touch of color. It's coloring something else. In this particular case, the formula, so to speak, is sort of something that is open, full, rich, warm, um, being colored by something that is the opposite, which could be snarling, metallic, tart or whatever. And why something tart coloring something sweet is just because it's more colorful and more powerful than if you did the opposite. If you had something tart or metallic being colored by something full and warm, it doesn't really have the same effect. So this particular example is from Bernard Herrmann. This is something he does a lot. This is eight horns here, which most people don't have the luxury of having. And this works for as many horns as you have. It doesn't have to be eight horns, but it's essentially we have something that's open and we're coloring it with something that's either hand stopped or the metal stopped mute or fiber mute, which is the same thing as a cardboard mute, a wooden mute. I just typically get in the habit of writing fiber mute as a way of making a distinction between the metal stop mute. So let me just play you an example. This is coming from my speakers. This is Note Performer. So I just want to give the disclaimer that when you hear the horns that are stopped sort of coloring the open horns, they're going to be more distant sounding. In this particular setup with Note Performer, it tends to play them back like incredibly strident. So just giving a disclaimer. And so here we go. All right, so what the hand stop thing is doing here is it's coming in on the same pitches. It's coming in at pianissimo to not overwhelm the climax of the sound, and notice that he's only bringing it in at the very peak of the sound. If you wanted this to be even more, I'm trying to more refined, I would probably, not make the rhythm as long and really just have it come in for a brief moment and fade out. So now to hear what the stopped sounds like coloring the open horns is this. And again, Note Performer is making these pianissimo stopped horns sound, like molto cuivre. So that's not reality, but I just wanted to play that back for the purpose of pitches and so you can get a rough idea. So we're in transposed. If we were to do this in, say, the woodwinds, this is not the greatest key because a lot of this stuff gets too low for flutes and oboes. But the premise would be something like clarinets and flutes being the main gesture and double reeds coloring it. That would be the equivalent in the woodwinds. And if we did something in the strings, it could be the equivalent of like consort, sul tasto, flautando, strings and maybe a few back desks, sul pont, perhaps tremolo, at the top, just coloring the main sound. So I think you get the principle here. We're going to the opposite side of the spectrum to color. Anyway, I hope this tip is helpful, and Bernard Herrmann is a great composer to study for many, many things, but especially with using brass mutes and coloring things. So, as I always say, don't forget to love yourself and each other. Stay weird, be kind, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much.